Hello, folks. Want to do a quick video. I just had an epiphany. I wanted to put this out online. The concept of escaping the matrix that I've been discussing for the last few years, saying, well, I don't agree of getting out of the matrix and escaping it because I had a holistic vision of what the matrix was. I was thinking that the matrix is, to explain it simply, it's everything around us, everything we experience, all possibilities, even supernatural possibilities that come through the matrix. They're not a glitch. These are things that are programmed into our reality that we're meant to understand. It's certain things people go through. We're meant to understand these things by experiencing them and cheating ourselves out of the concept of living a better life, of seeking a better life. You can't argue and say that doing that would cheat you out of life because you're still living life in the matrix, and through divining ritual, you'll be allowed to experience that reality. So that's not taking away or stunting your growth as a person. The concept of people struggling and fighting and being a product of their environment, being a product of the things that have hurt me, that things that I've learned that have made me stronger, that's all ego. So you were abused, and now your ego is saying that this is a badge of honor that you've experienced so much. So, and your ego is saying that I don't want to pursue anything spiritual because I've come to a level where my ego has gotten me into a place where my abuse and my struggle and all the things that I've experienced, negative things, have made me, quote unquote, who I am. That right there is a limitation. Now, if you don't want to progress beyond who you are into something that you actually want to be, it's either that you haven't thought about anything that you want, or that you're settling for who you've become because this makes sense to you, and you've never had the concept of dreaming of living a higher level of life. The matrix, the sky, the ground, the earth, all the different mechanics of what we're living, what we're experiencing. You know, with the matrix, escaping the matrix, I believe truly is now, after waking up from a beautiful nap, and realization of the true matrix in a very lucid dream experience. I realized that what you have the ability to do is not escape the sky or the ground or the cars or the people or the dogs and cats or the grocery stores or going to college or needing an education or a resume to get a job. That's not escaping the matrix. What escaping the matrix, and see, all those things will still exist and be relatively valid. You'll still need certain things. So my idea has not changed. I'm not saying that this video is going to talk about how to escape reality, to go into some dream world and float and be in outer space at all. Because the greatest thing is to walk into a nice house that the spirit realm has given you, to get into a nice car that the spirit realm has led you to and made it through the law of attraction and through the process of ritual wearing and the energetic of the alignment of who you are. So now you have the car that you can afford, that you like, that you don't have any struggles over, that you're not in threat of losing because you're in a job that you've just fudged your way into, or that somebody's signed off on, and now this person is gone. Now you're worrying and saying, well, am I really qualified even to be a part of this because I've just fudged my way in? No. The concept of using the spirit realm to live your best life is 100% true. And I'm so glad that through my process of my initiation, that this is where I've come to. I've come to a higher level of awareness. And what I want to say in escaping the matrix is that it's not about escaping the bushes or the plants. What it is escaping the reaction to people. What you're escaping through the spirit realm, through the divining ritual process, is you are escaping permission, of receiving permission from other people and the reaction to their so-called personhood. So now you're in a place where you'll still have people in your life when you go to the supermarket or the grocery store or to school or to work or to your family gatherings and all this different stuff. But you don't have this concept of people being a gateway. The concept that this person, I have to go through this person to be able to gain access because of it could be a misunderstood concept of confrontation, because you can confront a person without being physically in front of them. It's an emotional thing. So when, just like I said, the imagination mind, when you bring up these things that are bothering you, when you bring up in your imagination mind the person that you have that puts a pit in your stomach when you get around them, what is this? That's confrontation. You're emotionally confronting in your mind the concept of this person for as long as it takes for you to be able to clear those feelings of negativity. That's the clearing process to gain authorities, to get rid of all of this baggage and energetic waste between you and these people. And these are the things that are blocking you. People are blocks. Institutions, all of these paradigms, the relationship with money, what money is allowed to do, and what the system can and can't do. That is escaping the matrix through the spiritual divining ritual process. So getting out of this whole reaction to people and what they're supposed to mean to you, that is ego. That is ego. For you to live your life as a dutiful sim, moving through the sim world that's been created, this so-called matrix around you, and this under all these unwritten rules. That's escaping the matrix, escaping unwritten rules, escaping people, authorities, perceived advantages. Clearing those. Now, I've done something in the natural, in the basic ritual set, so you won't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about how to figure it out. You're basically just gonna come through it. And this is beautiful because for those of you who've been with us for a while, you are a very understanding of when there's an update in what you experience, because you have so many levels of ascension and understanding that things are not in your way. Now you're just looking for the edge of what's coming next for your manifestations. And you'll essentially just simply walk into it. You don't have to worry about how do I get out from all of these people and the perceptions. And those are truly the blockages. But even after you clear the blockages, you say, oh, well, the person still has this advantage. They still have this power over me. Not even necessarily a person you want to eliminate from your life, but it could be a person that you want in your life. And there's still things that keep recycling their way into your relationship. Their car. Every time you see a car that looks like theirs, it brings up a pit in your stomach. Every time you see a person's expression or the way that they look or the way that they use their voice or they use their body, it brings up a memory, something inside of you that's distasteful because you say, oh, that's just like that person. And you say, why can't I let this person go? It's because it's like you're stuck in a building with them and you weren't able to walk out of the door. Now you're out of the door. And that's for all of our ritual customers to understand that you've been freed. You've been freed now unto a higher level of manifestation and a higher level of your spiritual walk, because no longer will people serve as anchor points in the matrix that are gateways. Now the concept is that you experience the person and you will automatically remove the blockages and you continuously progress. And this, of course, is going to be at the proper speed because you have X amount of timelines beneath you that are scheduled. Another thing too is that we can't undo timing. Timing is necessary because the creator understands in our physical body what it takes to produce activities. That's the encoding that is the unbreakable part of this eternal life, heaven on earth, that he's designed it so that, oh, well, some things can happen in a day, some things can happen in 5 days, some things can happen in 5 months, some things can happen in 5 years, depending on the progression, because you have to be ready and the awareness and the clearing and the capacity to receive. All the people who've received unlawfully because of laws and rules that were changed in the matrix to be customized toward a destructive access. All those people, these are the people who've lost. These are the people who've lost big. And some of them have enough grit and say, oh, I've lost over and over and over again, but they just continue going down the same path because maybe they're seeking something evil. Maybe they've been programmed and surrounded by people who have opened doors for them that should have never been opened. And instead of using the spirit realm to gain authorities through the confrontation process, they simply usurp those authorities in their own negative realm, because these people are negative. They've become accustomed to negativity as their source. That's why they are consumed with fighting. They fight for everything. They seek things to battling, fighting. That's not a part of our spiritual ascension process. The confrontation process is hard enough. And this is why people say, oh, I've been through X amount of divorces, domestic violence, job losses, all these things. But this confrontation, this thing with my emotions, confronting my ex, not as a lover, but as an energetic anchor that has kept me in this subservience, this posture that I don't want to be in. And I'm confronting it in the spirit with my imagination mind. Now that feels like something. Even if I don't feel anything physical, I feel it emotionally, and I'm seeking to clear these things. So it's going to become much more smoother and easier as you guys start to progress. You'll notice it more. This is a beautiful part that I've been given, a clear understanding of where the bottle gap was in many people's lives. In many people's lives is they've had people who've served as doorways who should not even have ever been a doorway. But once you go through a doorway, there are other things, chutes and ladders connected to the doors you've gone in through other people that have prevented you from manifesting what you were seeking to manifest. Now that's no longer an issue because you're coming out of the door